How come the Arabs are so sad? The culture, you ever see it in the good and they turn on, they sound like they're all crying. I mean, they walk around like this. It's just like, how come they're so sad? The whole culture is sad. You know what he said? 10 kava moznus was given to the world. Chazal said. 9 of them, the Arabs took. The 10th kab, listen to this, the 10th kab goes to the whole rest of the world. All right? They're crying over the 10th kab. Is that good? Is that good? All right, look at that. Good stuff we have. All the good. Okay, anyway, that's the what? Is that something? What? Who knows what they really are? I want to tell you something. I want to tell you that when somebody decides to go after a certain Yetzirah, there's another one, a worse one coming up. I'm going to tell you, this guy is very unusual. He has a certain matzav that I was so impressed with his kedusha level. Very high, unusual. I says, you sure? Because he has certain Yevanas and everything. Now, I was so impressed that his kedusha is like, wow. I had just spoken to 10 different people dying from kedusha issues. It kills them. You know, like, I'm working on it so hard and so this, and they're all crying to me. And then he calls up, oh, kedusha, it's no problem. He's, and he has big nisyanis, like it's not stomach. So then I says, okay, he had other issues going on. Let's work on not being angry at whatever. And I spoke a half an hour, blue in the face, how Midas is everything. I was good. I was at my best. I was talking to the wall. He can't handle it. Just give me a bracha. That's it. His wife, he has trouble with his wife. He says he can't. It's not Nagaya. Just change my wife. Just don't give me this stuff to work on my cause. Just change her. Just change my wife and don't bother me. Just change her. I told myself like this. Here's a guy, and in Kedusha, he's a winner. I wanted to show him off to all the 10 other guys that are dying from aggravation because they have such a hard time. Well, look at him. He's on top of the world. Now I see. Look, he's got an issue that they don't have. He just can't. Where he's no good, he's no good. You know, like, you ever see, you go around, and in the body, they taught me this, that, this guy never gets angry. Oh, is he gavaldig? You ever see him learn? Not too often. But you're going around, I wish I could be, you ever see? Okay, here's the other guy. Look at him learn. I wish I could learn. You ever see his anger level? You don't have his issues, boy. He's a meshugana with his learning together. And the same thing with people go around jealousy. Envy is ignorance. The guy's got issues you don't want to hear about. He has got issues that outdo your butt. But I thought I have the worst. You want to hear about this guy? You don't know. Reb Nosson once told me this, that Reb Nosson Zatzal once told me that if everybody would see other people's peklach, they put them all out on the table, and he said, okay, give me mine back, please. I didn't know that's what you had. Can I have mine back, please? Just give me mine. Until that happened, I can't manage it. Why do I have to? Someone just did this to me just the other day. So many peklach. Am I such a tzaddik that I have peklach here and here and here? I'm from all over. They're killing me. This is no good and that's no good and he's and she and this and boom, boom. And go sugar. So many people walking around like that. Okay, let's take a peek at everyone else's peckle, and then, I wish it would be easier for me. I have such peckles. So let's throw, everybody put out his peckle on the table. Now, you want to see what I'm going through that I never told you about? See? You want mine? Ah! You want his? Everybody, give me back my own. there's a kada kemach that says, before you're born, you pick that pickle. Because in the world of truth, that pickle's delicious. In the world of false world down here, by the way, if you're an Novandiga, what pickle? The Novandigas go to the root. They don't work on Simcha and Novandig. On Sukkot they work on Simcha, that's it. They don't work on Simcha. Simcha, just get to the core of what is the true problem in your life. You think, oh, I have so much aggravation. Oh, how could you? And don't worry, all your friends will sympathize because they're in the same mode. The world's way of thinking, the warped way of type of covet. You gotta have covet though. How could you live with such degradation? But he goes, come to the party. They want the more of that stuff, the better. You know, they're in a different way of thinking. Oh, I had Pizyanis. Really? I had more than you. No, I had worse Pizyanis. In Novandig, a different world. We're still planning on making Kiryat Novandig. And in Kiryat Novandig, you know, there's going to be a guy. Welcome to Kiryat Novandig. And there's going to be a guy here with his hat on backwards. Nice, smiling with a stoltz. This is the way. And on the bottom, it's going to say, welcome to Kiryat Novandig. Please dress accordingly. I'm joking. But in my Kiryat, kids are going to be taught from the younger age. Ma, what happened? But now, other kids come home. Ma, I want a bike. Ma, I got 100 on the test. My boys, Ma, I got Pizyanis. They embarrassed me in front of everybody. I feel like $1 million. Ta, you know what happened? Oh, we're proud of you. Give a pat on the back. You got Pizyanis. Did you take it? I loved it. I just lost all my Averis. I'm never going to the hospital, which is true. And no Gehenna, ain't no day of Pnei Gehenna. You know, there's an Novandig yeshiva. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shakel midbarei. Lehayim. I say lehayim. I don't know about you guys. I say lehayim. You know that I have Sephardi granddaughters, and whenever I make Kiddush, those delicious granddaughters, my Sephardi granddaughters say lehayim. I love it. They are so good, those Sephardim. I don't know what it is. Something in me. Something, I don't know. The last Gilgal, I was one of you guys. Oh, man. L'chaim, everybody. Yeshua's for all the holy Jews out there. Every one of them. This time for real. I just told somebody on the phone. They said, they're calling me such tzaras going on. Such tzaras. Somebody told me his whole Shabbos turned around because they had a short talk with me. And despite all that tzaras, and they want me to talk. I says, you know, honestly speaking, I don't need to talk that much. What do you mean? I need to talk and calm them down. I'm like this with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know, I get along. I have one friend, Yedid Nefesh, Avod Achabon, delicious. I have a friend in Shamayim. And I don't need to talk and get rid of, I'll tell you how to get rid of your peckle. I'll talk to him. Do you want the names? Come on, all this formality business. I go to Abish to please help this guy. That's all. What are you complicating life for? I told this the guy, he looked at me. I got I believe, I'm into Kriyas Yamsi. You believe in that stuff? I'm real. I really do. Well, at least I try it. I'm embarrassed to say that I don't believe that I can have instant Yeshuas. You're not embarrassed? The Beis Halevi talks about this. Beis Halevi says, these adorable kids are all, how come the most adorable kids end up here? Oh, these sweeties. What do you feed these? What are you, cute guys? Exactly, I was wanting to say that. All you guys are cuties. In my books, forget it. because you're all, nice. Kalman, was macht ihr? Pleasure to see the Rebbe. It's good now. Now I just doubled the Elam. Every time I take a sip, I want a big Elam. Take some more. Yeah, just doubled. I do live with those principles. When I want to know if I'm a good guy or not, I don't ask people, how many people were there? How many people? What's going to be? You had a big guy? Come on, leave me alone with that. That's all covered. Yes. You wonder how many people are talking about you. No. You think I know how many people? No, they're all talking. They're all talking about you. Oh, that's so important in my life. My nafkamina. He made it to the Ated. Wow. He made it to the Ated. I honestly, learning one block Gemara means much more to me than making it to the Ated. And trying to squeeze out an Omid that I don't really chop. Much better than, okay, you want to say I'm Mazakaram? Okay, that's different. But it's baloney. These guys are mamish in their own world. The covet, every word. You have to look presentable. Okay, now look, we do believe in being normal. But you get carried away, but you gotta be normal. People are so crazy because they're so concerned about being normal that they're tight sugar. How many people would never daven for the Yomid because it may not look good, or they don't speak, because you gotta be, what are you gonna do? It's hard. It's a hard life. Look, it's all, Navadi, they kill you, it's covered. Everything in Navadi is covered. I had a guy standing here. Sat here, one of the big Navadi guy. Years ago, I had my chevra listening to him. He was talking. In the middle of the speech. He did this throughout the speech. It was all pratim. He fopped on the Elam. And the Elam fell asleep. You can fall asleep, that's fine. Look up in the sky for a few minutes. The guys could fall asleep. There could be nobody there. So what? He's free. The guy is. Is he free? It's a pleasure. He doesn't have all this. Am I making a good impression? I shouldn't have done that, no? Dalen didn't appreciate that, no. The Vardigas would have to do something. The whole Elam. Dalen did it. But that joke was it. I want to tell you, by the way, see my Bטחון weeklies. You know how many guys came over to me? Not that many, by the way. How many yeshiva shayla? And they looked at my stuff. I remember the guy who killed Shifra. He comes over to me, he goes like this. He tells me, no good. I says, what's the matter? I read your Yated. Your Bטחון weekly. I read it. The English. It's terrible. It's just terrible. The guy, I promise you. I was looking at him. Oh, really? Yeah. It's Mendel. No good. I laughed my head off. I couldn't care less. B'zayis is legal. In my books, b'zayis is legal. It's a chatrila. Get some b'zayis. Let's get you that. In Novhardok. Get some b'zayis. He's a quiet guy. He never talks. That's b'zayis. That's great. Oh, I would like to I do this lately. I get into a crowd where everybody's Lebedik and I'm ignored. I have to do that. I like to be ignored. And watch the way the guy who's telling over whatever it is, look at him and ignoring me. That's exactly what I want. I love this. Keep ignoring me. I love it. This is my Elam Haba. Keep ignoring. You think it's not Minash Shamayim? You're being tested. Oh boy. All that stuff. There's so much busyness going on throughout your life that you don't even detect. It's everywhere. And it's there for a reason. And I got news to tell you. Hashem makes it happen. It's him. It's not the guy in front of you. No way. He loves you. Or he doesn't know you. He doesn't mean it. Hashem purposely makes this guy look the other way to see, no, are you going to get embarrassed like everyone else? Or are you going to say, who needs that? I'm fine. You don't look at me? That's good. I'm okay. I need the whole world. Or they didn't laugh at my joke. That's taka difficult. That's one of my difficult decisions in life. I crack a joke and nobody laughs. That's like, I'll be minded to you. That's a tough one. If I make a joke, and I saw it, my own eyes. It's in, you can see it. It's in, they took pictures of it. Somebody, world famous, one of the funniest guys in the world. As funny as me, I'm not so sure. But he holds it, he's famous. Oh. And he told Reb Chaim Kanevsky a joke. And Chaim Kanevsky didn't hop. He was sitting like this with a bunch of people, and the guy made the joke. He had his gabbai next to him, or over here. The gabbai was standing here, and Chaim didn't have the joke. So the guy bent down to repeat the joke. Go kill it. The best way to kill a joke is repeat it. Don't do that. You don't chop, it's over. You're gonna kill it. Well, he meant to say. I'm looking at him. And then the gabbai starts giving another pirush on the joke. It's a joke. It's gone. You blew it. So Reb Chaim said, "Nay, he refused. He just did. It wasn't Reb Chaim. Is a straight shooter. It wasn't funny. I can't help you." Reb Chaim didn't laugh. And the guy kept repeating it. It was so funny. So I would tell the guy, "Come here. If you want to tell jokes, join the party." If the Novandig tells a joke that people don't laugh at, he's overjoyed. He's overjoyed. I got Bezaynis. Delicious. I don't get the joke, but I got Bezaynis. That's big time. Bezaynis? Bezaynis! You're crazy. Get Bezaynis. No visits to the hospital. No, you'll be Zaycha b'yom adin. No Gehenna. You got Bezaynis. Enjoy. While you get enjoy. That's something. So my Novandig yeshiva, Blineda, they're going to get the right chinuch. Kids are going to run home. Guess what I got today? Did you get Bezaynis? Good boy. I'm proud of you. But you got to like cover too, you realize. Or else the kids aren't going to learn anything. Who wants to be the best in the class? There's no Bezaynis available. So I'll end up not learning. See, that's why I play 2 games. I run after cover plenty. Yes, I run after cover a lot. More cover, the better. Give me some of that stuff. Kutzker Rebbe said, in one pocket you got Bezaynis, the other pocket you got covered, whatever. 2 opposite things. Kum taray, machtach hemish. You got the right place. You look like sweet guys. Come here. Come taran. It's so nice to have the Rabbeinu Shalom around. I'm one track. I have all to talk about. They asked me to talk by Bar Mitzvah. I got up there. And what should I say? I says, you want to have a good life. Get friendly with Hashem. You want to have a good friend. So don't be so popular. By the way, now listen closely. I have a Rebbe who was Meir Derech to me. And he saw me schmoozing a little bit. He says, that's everything. Go get popular. I heard this from one of my Rabbeim, Adam Gadol Ma'od, who has Shema from Reb Nosson, no? He said, go for that. Or at least he felt I needed it. Go for it. Become popular. Yes, he told this to me. It's fine. You're allowed to be popular and enjoy life. Nothing wrong. But it's kedai to have two sides. There's a time not to care. If you don't, you have to know what it's. Now, I wanted to tell you that. They gave me an aliyah this Shabbos. Anyway, the aliyah. What? Yeah, no. They gave me with the shveh. The Adam and the shveh. For me, it was perfect. I felt so cool. Oh, this is one of my big things in life, getting along with the shveh. That's one of my greatest accomplishments in life. My shveh had a strangle, and he fell in with me, Nebuch, and I fell in with him. We both fell in, and we got along. I loved my shveh, that's not. But with the shveh, so I have Moshe Rabbeinu and his father. How did they work it out? It's Givaldi. It says, first of all, he said, the shveh came in, if you don't want to come out for me, come out at least for your daughter. It's a pirate. If you don't want to come out for your daughter, be machabed, so come out at least for your kids. Moshe Rabbeinu came out with our army. The whole Klal Yisrael came to greet. Yes, sir, he was paid back all the bizyanis he had all his life. He had a lot of bizyanis, L'Shem Shemayim. He was searching for the Eibishter. He got tzaras. He was ostracized. He was a chedim. Hashem paid him back. Beautiful story. And Moshe gave him so much cover until, you want to know the shear, how much to give the shver? When the shver starts giving you eitzes. Then you know, and he started, well, now I have something to tell you, mashallah. It's not so good what you're doing. Yeah, how's that? That's the shear. So Moshe did a job with his anava. You think Moshe was a pushover? Listen to this. Moshe listened. He heard the eitzah, Valdig, and when he finished the eitzah, he said, "Got to follow the shver." Now the shver said, "Anshi emes, anei botza, yerei chet, and anshi chayil." 4 things. Moshe went ahead. He got 1 out of 4. Just anshi chayil. That's all he did. See, shver, I listen to everything you say. And he said 4 things. And the Torah says he did everything the shver said. And he did only 1 out of 4. What's pshat in the pasuk? Yes, kol asher the shver gezugt. There's an excellent Adam. Moshe Rabbeinu is giving lessons how to be a good Adam. Listen to everything the shver says. It says he listens to everything. This is 1 out of 4. So I say, that's called everything. The Torah is giving us a lesson. First of all, Moshe is not a pushover. I'm very happy. Nice vod. I'm going right ahead to do. But I still have my own opinions. I'm stopping right here, okay? You know what Rabbi Dick used to say? Dav zayin an unov, nicht azunov. You know what that means? An unov and not a tail. Zonov. You be an unov, don't be a tail. Moshe Rabbeinu was an unov. He didn't play games with him. And then the belt makes a joke. And Vayishla, Moshe sent them away, okay? Moshe said, yes, right? He said, Moshe sent them away. Bye. Why he sent them away? You started to give eitzes, it's time to go. That's what the belt says that. The shver is starting to give eitzes. No. Starts giving, Rabbi Scheinberg used to joke around about shvers. He says, why is it called a shver? Means hard. It's hard in Yiddish. He says, why is it shver? He says, if he's good, then it's shver to fight with him. And if he's bad, it's shver to get rid of him. Rabbi Scheinberg used to joke around. It was funny. They had 2 people used to speak those days, Rabbi Scheinberg and Rabbi Nachum David Herman. He was his brother-in-law. Rabbi Rav Scheinberg, all the functions that they had in Torah those days used to sit together. Scheinberg always gave a serious speech, and everybody listened. And then his brother-in-law, he was funny. He used to get up. He used to joke around with Galinsky, Yeah, I shouldn't say it. The mice with Galinsky and Shalom Shodran. Shalom Shodran told Galinsky, if you see a hat on the floor and there's nobody underneath it, it's probably Galinsky. Is that terrible? Galinsky says, if you see a belly coming through the door and you don't see me, where's the guy? It's just a belly coming. It must be him. Now listen, I saw this. I had to joke around. I saw this with my own eyes. I was in Far Rockaway. I go to Far Rockaway. Come today! Jack is here. Where's Jack? Jack is here. Come, bring me Jack. Jack is here, Rabotai. I'm proud of my oil. I'm almost finished with Jack. Guys, okay, now. So, what I want to say about, so I was at Far Rockaway. Listen to this. I promise I saw this with my own eyes. Rav Shalom Shodron spoke. First of all, when they introduced him, he said, I'll go to Far Rockaway. We're going back 50 years ago. Something like that, more than that. It's a little different world, Shalom came from Yerushalayim to speak. He used to see who he was great. And then they introduced him, Megenyet Vorstellen von uns, Harav, Hagoin, Hagodel, Reb Shalom Shvadron. As soon as he's sitting there facing the Elam, he was at the Mizrah. And as soon as they say Hagodel, he went like this. I saw this. He went like this. No, you're allowed to joke? Reb Shalom Shvadron. You're allowed to joke? Mutalach. Then he started talking. Then he said a piece of Torah, Shabbos Hagodel, about some kachin, because heavy stuff, zvachim, menachas. Like you got to learn, got to go to brisk. You got to, he was a guy. Reb Shalom Shadam was into learning very stark, and he started said a whole stickle, and then he started off, and the other was sitting there, young, good boys, It's not quite, all about this. You're good people, but different there, it's different. They didn't learn a lake with none of them. He didn't learn, who knows how far they get. So then he started wrapping it up very fast. He slowly just started closing one Gemara. Okay, let's knock this up. And he says, by me, he said, let's wrap this up in Yiddish. By me, it's 100% you didn't come for this. That's clear by me. He didn't come for it. By me, it's 100%. He didn't come for all this love, this. Okay, let's get to the point. And he started with the Agada, the Musa. And he started with he was delicious. Then he said, he was a little bit, sharp. He was sharp. He wasn't like Galinsky. Galinsky was more Makarov type. He was very different. Different mahalo, okay? Different types. And he said, he started cheppering with college, He was a Talmud of Reb Leib Chasman. You heard the Meister of Leib Chasman? How he came to Slobodka, he knocked out the whole Slobodka right in front of the altar sitting right there. Oh, you think the whole yeshiva, hundreds of guys, just to give him cover to speak. They didn't do that every day with Moshe Malkin. The whole staff, they came out just. Leib Chasam was called the Eli of Musa. He was a goyin. He was a tzaddik. He was from the top chalmas. He was from the biggest of the big. Reb Shalom's Rebbe. So they asked him to speak in Slobodka. See, he got up. He ranked out the whole shita right in front of everybody. Oh, you think Slobodka is such a great shita? I don't. That's my opinion. In front of everybody. And the altar is sitting there. The altar of Slobodka. Where's Kavanah Torah? You know what he once said? When people throw things at me, is I pick them up and I use them for medallions. I love it. I love getting. He was sharp. He was a tzaddik. Anyway, so his Talmud was. They say that's why years later, when he was looking for a job, and the Slabot Yeshiva had moved to Hebron in Eretz Yisrael, he wrote a letter to the Alter and he says, I'm ready to be a shamus. I want to come to Israel, Eretz Yisrael. So the Alter says, I got a job for you. You're taking over my place. And he became the next Mashgiach. And so they say the Alter, when he saw Reb Leib Chasman's behavior at that shmuz, he said, that man I want. They were tough those days. You know what happened today? He's not one of us. He said Barabim. It would be over, not in speaking terms. You rank out someone in front of the Alter loved it. They're different type of people, you realize. Anyway, so he was speaking in Far Rockaway, and he started knocking college. College, those days, college. You better go to college. It's everybody. I mean, it was like that's what the matzah was, And so he says, I'm soon going to say something, and you're going to want, he said it in Yiddish, I'm soon going to say something, and you're going to want to send me right out of this place, right through the window. I remember he went like this. I'm going to say something in a minute, and you guys are going to want to throw me out of here right through the window. And then he started knocking college. It was funny. Anyway, the Kitzah. Herman. Yeah. So Scheinberg made his big drasha there. Herman. He was funny. He was very funny. He always spoke, and he was always funny. Rav Scheinberg was serious, and he was funny. They came to all the simchas together. They were brother-in-laws. Nachum Herman was the only son of J.J. Herman, all for the boss. And I remember he once spoke. It was just before the 6-Day War. I didn't chap him. He was a great person. He was funny, sort of, He was in that Pashat. Big time Chacham, he learned in Hebron. He said, okay, the war, they're talking about the war. 2 weeks before the 6-Day War, the tension wasn't Pashat. And, okay, Vozakt, Ben Gurion, whoever the Rishayu, the Tzionim, Vozakt America, Vozakt, everybody, what does he say, what does he say, what does he say? And I say, Vozakt the Hebishter. I remember that. He wasn't Pashat. You know what this man did? He should be a schus for his holy neshama. My parents were Mudarכים very much. I think he used to eat, but he was best friends with my mishpacha. He was kicked out of his job because he stuck up against. They asked him to make a hesped on a tziyeni. He was in the Clymer Street Shul of Williamsburg. I was a bachur learning in Tarvadas those days. I was a 10-year-old schnook. And I remember, like today, the Clymer Street Shul was always having fires. Arson, whatever, the shkutzim. Satma was right 2 blocks down. Nobody ever touched Satma. Boston, Stiebel, Salem, Boston, the Visions was there. They were all, Williamsburg's loaded. It became completely Satma through the years, but those days everybody was there. And Clymer Street Shul was a more modern type of place, and he was the rabbi in that place, Nachum David Herman. And they asked him to be maspid, one of these big Zionist guys. My father, this is my father's nusach, he told it over to me. My Rabbi Ishai, you want me to be maspid this person? Fine. these are real hardcore Americans. The modern Orthodox at best. I don't believe there was one shekel in the crowd. I mean, a different world. And he was the Rav over there. And he said, well, how much money would you give me for the film of the Vilna Gaon? How much? Make it like 20,000. How about Rashi's film? Oh, him, 100,000. Rashi's film. How about Shemai Yachai's film? Oh, 1 million to get his film. Rabbi said, that man's film, that's Tziyoni, I'd give you all the money in the world for his film. It's not happening. It never happened. He was making fun of him. That's what he said. That's what my father told her. When he did that, he was finished. He put his foot in his mouth. He did it l'chatchila. He was a tzaddik. He was a son of J.J. Herman. And his father taught him papak the world. That was that's for sure in the Novandig mode, big time. And the Alta for Novandig says, these are my boys. And anyway, on the spot, the president and the guy who was going to become the future rabbi. This is the way I heard it. There's a lot of mistakes. They walked over to the stage and they threw him out on the spot. You're out. We don't want you here. Now, the new rabbi and the new rabbi, you have to know, if you stick up for the Eibishter, he's going to pay you back. He watches. You lost your job for something like that? Oh. You know what he did next? I'll tell you what he did next. They were on a plane. The new rabbi who got his job, who had thrown him out, and the president, were on a plane 2 weeks later, and they crashed. Now, exactly what happened, everyone survived except for those two, or they all died, whatever. They got it. We're not finished. Then they got another rabbi. The rabbi, 1 week after he took office, it was a sudden heart attack in the middle of the street. Rahman al-Islam. Nobody wanted to take the job. Now they say, the Chevre Kaddish in Yerushalayim say, that in his Levaya, they saw something. Amuda Denura, a pillar of fire. Some saw more, some saw, but they saw some. I heard it from the Enoch. If you do it, Chevre Yerushalayim, that man stuck up for the Eibishter. He had to leave. He had a life where he was a broken-hearted person without a job. He used to direzach. He was funny a little bit, comical. He was Mr. the Sheni Yid, who direzach around, who speaks in public. Everyone. This is what he used to say. When Rav Scheinberg used to speak, he used to get up. He says, "Do you know that he was an American? He was a polished. He had a mouth, a pisk, like they say at the Yiddish. A pisk. They got a pisk. He had a mouthpiece. Wow. He was polished. It's a pity. He gave it all away. And he got up. Do you know the difference between a Rosh Yeshiva and a rabbi? A Rosh Yeshiva has a head. A rabbi has a mouth. I remember that one. He was funny. The place used to be on the floor. And he used to joke around a lot. They liked him a lot. He used to speak. I remember once a conservative guy, somebody, the Mishpacha were all conservatives. Did he get to work? And he was a fish in water. I got to bless them. They all came in. I remember as he was talking, well, you have to understand, in this day and age, he had an English, and they were sitting, they don't know what hit them. I remember as he rubbed in, and of course you have the conservative, the way he said it, like, the conservative there. My father used to say reform is better than conservative. Why? Because a Reformed guy knows he's a bum. He knows the matzah. My father's Zatzal. He was, we're bringing back history. They used to let him have it. My father was a happy person, and he fought them all tooth and nail. He's the only beard in America, a black beard. He was mamish. People used to look at him, who's that guy with the beard? And my father laughed at them. He couldn't care less. My father, what did he do? So he, what was I saying? What? Yeah, my father used to teach in High Line, Hebrew Institute of Long Island, or Oliver Schnabel, co-educational. I was there too for 4 years. And I sat there, and my father had to taught the first grade. So they put up JNF, Jewish National Fund. You know, they put up, you know what that is? They still have it? Grow a tree in Israel, you know. All the Zionists, they had this stuff. Israel's giving, and then they had pictures of Ben Gurion, Ben Tzvi, Ben Dus, all the bums were all there, but without a blazing cup, they used to call it nothing. You know what a blazing cup means? It's an uncovered head. It's a head without no yarmulke, blah, blah, blah. Where's your yarmulke, these guys? You're not part of this world. Anyway, so my father, he didn't fight with it. They loved him. My father was smart. He knew how to deal with these chavra. My father used to, so they had this big thing, pictures with all these, you know, these Zionist leaders, the president and the premier, all the tzaddik, and the tziyonim, you know. You know, my father used to take a pen. He didn't say anything bad. He just stopped coloring, you know. He drew a yarmulke on Ben Gurion. And he started drawing payas, payala for you. You know, they used to come in. Rabbi Mendel, yes. What is it? Well, you know, he knew how to. My father knew how to deal. He left them. He had developed a pack. There's a reason why I became the Vardik. You know, of my father. My father had developed in the garbage. He wasn't scared of anybody. And he had a lot of fun with these chevra. Like he didn't. He once, this lady, he used to sell sforim to these people on the island. Had all these fancy temples of Reform, Conservative. It was big those days. And Orthodox was barely, you know. And so he used to sell sforim. So they had this Reform guy, he had to do some business with him. He had at the house, delivering whatever, some sperm, I don't know. So the Reform guys, oh, Rabbi Mendel, oh, it's so nice to have you. And his wife was going wild. If the rabbi is here. My father was neat. He was smart like anything. He was neater than them. If you're a clean type, oh boy, they can't touch you. Because that's one of the things they have, the Orthodox Jews, they're dirty. You know, my father, when he taught there in the Talmud Torahs over there, everybody, you better have a handkerchief every single day, or else you're not in my class. Boy, they respected him. He knew the cards. He played a game with them. He outdid, and personality, he had better jokes than all of them too. Stelzafar was my father. He was funny, and he loved people. He was great. He used to kiss people in the street. He was a great person, and very popular. Murdered. I was like a quiet guy. I felt my father was like who knows what. And so he came to this Reform guy who sells farm. And the Reform guy says, oh, Rabbi, and his wife was going wild. Oh, Rabbi Mendel, it's an honor that we can have you. He's American. The fuck Americans have a certain. Do you know, Rabbi? My brother-in-law is a conservative rabbi. You know, the Reform guys. We're related to conservatives. The Tzaddik Hadar, you know, they're related to conservatives. You know what my father said? I like you guys better than them. Why? Because if a guy's comes to America and he wants to find himself, and with Yiddishkeit there was very schwach those days. So when he goes to reform, he sees right away these guys are a bunch of bums. You don't keep anything. There's no yarmulkes. There's none of men and ladies sitting together with an English sitter, with an organ on Shabbos Kodesh, driving. You guys, he takes one look at you guys. You guys are bums. My father told him in Panama, right? He wasn't scared of nobody. He told them you guys are off the wall. He didn't scare them, and they loved him. They respected him. It's very volume. He didn't turn nobody off. Oh no, but despite his but conservative, they're the real wise guys, because they're fooling people into think they're from, because they have a few half rules so they can fool you. You guys can't fool anybody, so you're not such a danger. But the conservatives are worse than you guys. So my father said, he was Myrdik. He knew how to deal with this chevra. They loved him because he was an Elach Mensch, and he wasn't no chanifa. Not my father. Oh no. There was a guy who made a bar mitzvah. Hetty had his Hetty's son. They made that bar mitzvah. Those days, how had a European, they were fresh off the boat, and they came to America. And not a lot of greenhorns all over. Today, they're almost extinct. You don't know, guys with, it was on the hand. There were loads of them all over the place. And so Hetty, they never saw him in shul, and his son became bar mitzvah. So when his son became bar mitzvah, let's say it right. Bar mitzvah, baruchu, esash, hama, baruchu, the Americans. Baruchu. I don't like to make fun of people. I'm doing this just to be cute. But I do want to tell you that those Yidden that are trying to come back, and they sound like that, I hold more from them than anybody. I'm serious. I don't make no fun of them. But I got to be cute. So I'm going to imitate a little Yidden. They'll be Michael. I be'emes hold from, and somebody who's serious, who wants to. But those days it was never, it was shreklach. Everyone was going off the derech. It was ridiculous. So in comes his son, and he came for Shabbos. And his wife and his mother were by the Ezra Rebbe Mendel. My father was a celebrity. I'm sure there. Rebbe Mendel, you see Hetty? He's a good boy. He's good. And so his wife says, he buys me flowers all the time for Shabbos. And his mother says, Hetty's very nice. He smiles to everybody. He's this. And he starts saying how nice he is. And he gives candies to the little children. He's very, very good, Hetty. Good man. And Harry's standing there. So my father says, if Zogler says, I don't say he's Yiddish. They spoke Yiddish. I don't say he's not good. He is a good guy. That's a good. I remember watching him. That's a good guy. My father let him have it. He left at them. He foffed the moon. My father was Nobhardok. My father was Meridik. He left. He used to take us to shul on Shabbos. He was in his own world. My uncle Manazatzal once told me. He said, my Baba Lasham Tzaddik is from Alaya Mendel. She be a schuz for a holy neshama. When she was, forget it, she was all the Mandels. Thank you, the Baba from Alaya. She was tough. She fought them. There was once a fight about a mikveh in a shul in Woodridge. Got to say it right, Woodridge. And they were fighting, should they have one or not? And there was a 50-50. And suddenly they heard, that's the story. My Baba from the Ezra Sashim, Ich sag as yeah! And they didn't mess with her. The mikveh was in, thanks to my Baba. My Baba! Anyway, she was, she fought them. She wasn't scared of nobody. And my uncle Manas once told me, he never felt like it's so hard to be a Yid. They had a ball. They were happy. Everyone was going off the derech, and they were so different. So, they were happy like crazy, that whole crowd. Mike Tress, the Hershkowitzes, the Wilhelms, doesn't know, the first Hervadas. Chevra. They were Shaga Fibels, Chevra. They were such happy groups. Can't imagine. Anyway, the Bursteins. You know, the Bursteins also part of our club. Anyway, what did I want to say? My father used to take a walk with us Friday night. I once set up shop in my Novandig. You know, between you and me, I can't keep up with my father and his brothers. I heard somebody just yesterday, someone took me to drive to New York. I went to Menachem On the way, he tells me he knows somebody who listens to me. And he loves me. He says he's a real cool guy. He's very cool. But he likes you. Why? Why does he like me? He heard you talking about your matzeva. He liked what you had to say. He liked the contrast between your father, who said, please don't be masvid me. And you said, my father was a great person. Big chus. Yosef Rosenblum praised him. That tzaddik, he doesn't want to know it's paid him. The grace is out. But I'm not quite, I'm a little different mahalach. I'm a little different, not dar. And I say, when the guys are going to make hespedim on me, I want to see them beforehand. So just in case they run out of words, I'll tell them what to say. You know who I was? Ooh. I'll tell you more about me, just in case. So, and for the, I joke around and say, Chevra Kaddish in Yerushalayim are still looking high and low to find a matzeva big enough for me. There's so much to say about me that they're looking high and low. So he likes that. This cool guy says, Mendel speaks my language. He likes it. Anyway. But how do I get into my father? Listen to this. Should have a lisping again. I got to tell you. He used to walk us home. He was so happy with being a yid. My father was like, he was on a high all his life because he was a yid. He once told me, I used to struggle with being thankful to the Eibush that he thought I was out of my mind. You have trouble with that stuff? I don't know how to stop doing it. He was so thankful. He was a first grade Rebbe. He watched see the Kedushin. He couldn't kill it. Oh, you got to see, that's nice. I got my little boobies. He used to eat up all the kids. I'm learning how to eat kids now. In my later years, I've started to eat them. It's not a joke. I promise you. Kids in my class. By the way, I told my class, and I mean it. Boys, you are by far the cutest class I ever had. And the kids love hearing that. 9-year-old kids got to be cute. And I am myself. It passes for a 6-year-old. 9-year-old, but they want to be cute. And I hug them. So, hey, look. They come over to me, Rebbe, can I have another hug? They come over. They love getting hugs. And they said, we don't really get enough at home. They're full of baloney. I know these characters. They're wise guys. Their parents are good to them. But they want to get another hug. So they start saying, my mother doesn't. I'm planning on reporting her to the police for child abuse. I'm joking. But they're full of baloney, my chevra. Do you want another hug? Good, I'll give you another one. I'm gewaldig. Now, anyway, back to my father. My father, that's all. He used to take us after Shabbos. He used to walk. He was Hasidish. He didn't wear a strimal. Boy, was he Hasidish. All the Mandels. 2 of them didn't have beards. Believe me, they didn't need no beards. They were so Hasidish. Real Hasidic. Wow. They sent us, they messed me up by sending me to a Litvish place. When I came home, you know what I did? It was a war. I came home. Who needs mikveh? I shouldn't repeat this stuff. I was terrible. I did tshuva. I straightened out. But when I was a teenager, they sent me real Litvish place. So the first thing when I came home, I says, do we have any in our roots, any Litvaks over there? Let me see the pictures. And somebody, we need some Litvak, because I was at a Litvish place. Lit was in, please, we have to have somebody Litvish. My mother was a Yeki. That's out of the ballpark. She came from the Yekis, and I'm named after her father. He was a great person. And then my father was a Galiziana, he's a happy-go-lucky. Reimehiven Stiebel, if you ever heard of it. Happy-go-lucky Yidden that liked to crack jokes and liked to sing. My father and the uncles, they used to get together and they used to sing for hours. He became from because of what's his name, Rav Shiner from Kamenetz. He became from because of the Mandels Friday afternoon. When did you learn? When did you sleep? When did you start again? They sang for 4 hours every Shabbos Tillman. That's it. And the way they sang, they had their own good and it wasn't they had and they schmoozed and they laughed. My father used to walk in the street and he saw a squirrel. Oh, kick at him. Kick me est. Kick me est. Oh, yeah, I get an appetite. Yet he would kid around with it. He enjoyed Hashem's world. He was real. He used to look at the sun. He loved Hashem's world. My father loved Hashem's beautiful world. He was normal. Now look, he was pretty much born on a farm where they need a dog to help. So we had a guy who lived down the block, an Italian guy, a schmucky guy. My father liked him. At the time, his name was Mike Santori. He was an overweight guy who could barely get up. But he had a smile, a real Italian geschmack. By the way, there's a lot of Jewish blood there. Rabbi Yaakov said, you got to watch out with Geiris, with Mamzeris over there. During the Renaissance, they were the better goyim. There were a lot of intermarriages. So the reason, it's not only because Esav was a twin to Yaakov. It's because, whatever. But anyway, Mike had a dog, Skippy. And Mike used to sit there, and my father used to pass by. And how you doing, Mike? Oh, my Skippy is a best doggy. Hey, he's a good doggy, my Skippy. My father said, yes, I like Skippy. And he'd go over to Skippy. I was petrified. My father would pat Skippy. Skippy loved my father. My father loved Skippy. And my father he enjoyed the world. And Mike, he's as the Chagishmaka. My father used to say, got to watch out, lo yisachanim, as the Chagishmaka. This Mike was a happy Italian heavy guy, and he had a red face from all the alcohol. My father enjoyed him. Gishmaka is the Chagishmaka. Mike Santori, his name was. Mike, he was a cute guy, Mike. And they loved my father. Once a taxi driver, Shagets, somebody told me, the Shagets told him, my best friend in my whole world is Manas Mendel. That was my uncle. He was also full of love, and they were normal people, Hey, Adam, let's be a human being. We'll start getting from tomorrow. Boy, were they from. The Mandels were crazy from. Far frumped. But they knew how to do it. They didn't get cuckoo. They were crazy from. Don't ask. Boy, were they from. They used to joke. There was a woman who married into the second Zivig, one of the uncles. Her name, my Bubba's name was Froma Leah. You get a name like that. Kishmai Kagaram. She was crazy from. She wasn't pushing. She was very from. Don't mess with her. And that's why she kept them. But she knew how to do it. She had seichel. She was a mechaneches. She started girls' schools in America. She was a very chashuva person. That's shy. Big Dame Rav Shurka and said, Ayababa is giving Gora Tzaddik. She was riesig rebelli. May used to eat by us. She was very. So what was I saying? So she was saying, who? So one of these frummy ladies, it was the second Zibig, but they married into these Farfrumta family like us. I am a very frum guy by nature. Don't ask. I'm pretty cuckoo. If I'd have the kaiches, I just don't have the kaiches to be so frum. It drives me crazy. But according to the way I see things, there's no end to my frum kite. Chaim Berlin has straightened me out a little bit. They're a little cool. It was perfect for me. It saved my life. I would have been crazy because daven. Did you daven? Did you forgot this? Did you say Rabbi Kavana? I'm one of them. I fit in, but today, oh boy, it's survival. I had to be a little different. Okay. Half the people who call me, I begged him, please don't be so frum. I'm not kidding. They suffer so much with frum, laws up. Anyway, but they said like this. One of these aunts, Tante Rivka, her name was Tante Rachel, they married into, she was married into one of my Bubby's 3 brothers. She raised them. My Bubba from Malaya. She was an orphan. She didn't have a father and a mother. She was the oldest, and there were 3 boys after her. They were all Shem Shabbos, not till Pashat those days. And she raised them because her mother was Nifta. And her mother came to her in a dream. And her mother said, you raised my kids, I'm going to pay you back, but good. And all 4, no one liked them. The 4 Mendel brothers, they're the pride of Williamsburg. Tarvadas, everybody knew them. They were clocks. I mean, sweeties, all of them. My father especially. Anyway, so my father, I remember the way he used to take us from Shabbos, Friday night. He used to walk in the street. In the street, our father wasn't scared of nobody. All the cops loved him. He used to joke around with them. He had these, there was a shegitz, the halba shika, Mr. Drezo, he used to build the sukkahs for us. Larry Larson, and he goes, hey Larry, did you go to church? Did you go to church or not, Larry? He says, if he goes to church, the Chofetz Chaim said, he was once sitting in a carriage, when there was a taxi, and the shegitz didn't cross himself by the crossroads. He says, if he has no religion, then we're really in trouble. At least he got some religion. So no religion. So my father said, you went to church or not? You're drinking too much. He used to man the goyim, be a good guy. Hey, you're not going to church. So you're still an animal. You don't see. He used to man the goyim. Well, behave, be an halacha guy. They loved him. He used to walk us home from shul on Shabbos. We lived in a block. It was dark at nighttime. Leil Shabbos. V'nichmal gehat kayach v'haltich in de gassen gelaufen I wollte geschrien Shabbos, Shabbos, ayoim lashen Shabbos, 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 ayoim lashen. That means, free English translation for all my Sephardic friends. If I would have kayach, I would run in all the streets, and I would scream at the top of my lungs, today is Shabbos. Isn't that beautiful? Shabbos, 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 Shabbos. My father was delicious. I don't know how his mother didn't eat him out. He was sweet. He was special. Everybody loved my father. It wasn't Pasha. Anyway, now I'm sure my father heard the whole session. He heard this and he appreciates it. From now on, I'm going places. I'm going to tell you my pshat and kibbut of aim. You ready? If you don't mind, I try to keep out my vedlos. I stick them in. You want to hear my Torah? Take a talk weekly, and you find my Torah. My jokes are here, or my stories, but my Torah isn't here because I gotta say something. But now I'll tell you one. Listen to this one. It's a bomb. It's straight from the Yebishter. Kibbut over ain, laman yarichun yamecha. What does kibbut over aim have to do with living long? If you are machabed your parents, you're machabed your life. You appreciate the fact that you were born. That's why you live long. That's what kibbut of aim means. Kibbut of aim, why is it so important? It means you appreciate the fact that the Eibishter made you. You want to be, you're happy that you're alive, you live long. How do you like that shot? a bomba. No? Titus emes oisa befiu. I know, that's emes. It's an emes of. By the way, people who don't like their parents, you know why? They don't like themselves. Watch out. They don't like their wives. They don't like, it's all you. You don't like your wife? She's a mirror of you. You don't chap who she really is. She's just a caricature. Like you get it. You only get in cars without saying anything. She explodes. So you see yourself in a, in the magnifying of you. But it's all, you're all connected. Your father's connected, your kids. Your kids aren't allowed to be a little crazy. You're allowed to be mashuga. They're not. You're connected. People, if you really love yourself, I got to tell you what happened to me. I got up in front of my kahila and I said, enough, Mendel, boisterous Mendel. Good. You've been praising yourself 25. I'm this and I'm this. You don't even know what a tzaddik I am. Oh. My tzidk is beyond. I'm such a tzaddik. There's nobody like me. And I'm heavy into that. Oh boy, am I into that. I'm always holding a lot for myself. A lot. Ad ain't shit. That's my Musa Seder. You know what my Musa Seder is? I am gewaldig. That's Limud HaMusa. Rabbi Yerucham says, you got to learn Musa, Bishvili Nivra Olam. You hear that? It's me, it's Mendel. What's wrong with Rabbi Yerucham? He lived 100 years ago. He said the same thing. I made it Rav Hutta. You know Rav Hutta once said? Rav Shlomo Volba, somebody asked him, how do you work on a novel? He said, I think you have to work on gaiva. What is it? Rav Hutta once said, you like to pour gaiva on everyone's heads. It's not a joke, this stuff. I take this serious. That's why I'm the biggest Balgaivanik in Lakewood. I had a big machlekes with me and some Chabonim. The Rav, he said that he's the biggest raid of covet in town. I said, no, I'm worse than you. He said, no, I'm worse than you. This happened in public. We got into a fight. But still not on speaking terms. Anyway, beside I said, I am the raid of covet Adoyer. That's what I said. I pride myself. I love covet. I'm a big steerer. Chazal say, you run after covet will run away from you. By me, it doesn't work like that. It's a starch and guddle. By me, I'm shicker with covet. I have so much covet, it's coming out of my ears. I get so much covet, it's gavaldi. Anyway. So, I think I spoke enough. Yeah, I had enough covered tonight. I want to give everybody a bracha. Of my father, that's my kibbut avim. My mother, now listen to this. My mother was unique. I've tried this. I gave up. Whenever there's a shalom bayis, I say, why can't the lady build up the husband? I can't imagine. The ladies feel I got enough of my own ego problems. It's so unusual that a spouse should build up. Maybe a man can build up a lady a little bit. It's not enough of that stuff. I would hope both should build it. I saved 5 marriages 3 months ago. I put out a good kufa where I had both. He had to say a whole bunch of good stuff about her, she about him. And the mode was a negative mode. She was busy, now you did this wrong, and now you did that wrong. She was a mumche in finding what's wrong with her husband. And he was pretty good at, they were very good at it. They were good at the game. They knew how to kill each other, but good. And I says, you got to get out of the mode and start working the other way. Say how good he is. 5 marriages, one of them, a guy from Flatbush, his therapist says, once a month you got to come back to Mendel. Because it changed the whole business. Another one, this guy told me, I see him, the guy told me, I had one session with him, I said, I have a way of doing it, by the way. I laugh a lot. That means you're a real good lador. And then I joke a lot. Oh, that means, wow, in Shamayim, they must be going crazy over you. I make it lebedik. And afterwards, they're expected to do it between each other, a few minutes a day. One of the guys, I met him, he said his life has turned around completely and forever. For 1 or 2 sessions. Just get a different mode, you know. By the way, you all got to change modes. I daven a lot. I try. I daven a lot. I'm good with him. I prefer socializing with the Eibishter. That's my preference. That's my main friend, is the Eibishter. That's the... Speak English.
What does your davening look like?
Say, Eibishter, can you please do me a favor? I don't know when I'm coming or going. You see the way I talk to you? Just like that. No difference. English. Don't start, did I say it right? If you do you a favor, come on. Things are going rough. How do you think I get my money? This is how I talk. Right now, I just gave him $220. I don't know a penny. I needed to get $2,000 every week. One, I keep getting, and the other one, I don't want to bother with him. I have to do for 2. I daven my head off. Suddenly somebody pops up and says, hey, I don't want to be bothered so much. The guy in New York used to bother me. I ended up owing $15,000. I said, hey, I can't do this. You want me to give up? I threaten. I promise you, I do that. I'm going to give this up. I just can't do it. And right afterwards, things happen. He says, see, I'm serious. You don't want me to do it, I won't do it. The one thing I never say, you hold I'm not Roy, I keep out of that garbage can. Never do I say that, even to the I'm not Roy. Keep away from that piece of poison. I never tell the Eibishter, maybe I'm not Roy. Maybe you're punishing me. Worst Russia. It has no shaykhs. I demand everything and anything. In fact, when I'm a real low in your Shemayim or anything, then I have even more b'tachon. Because I'm meteach only in him and not in my ma'aseh. I'm serious about that. I never go that way. Roy, I try to do tshuva. That's a different moves. We try to improve. But I never, ever put myself down. Oh, I know why you're punishing me. I did this Aveira. Oh, no! What Aveira? Who? I keep away from that whole sugya. Go to the Slonimus. There's fire on this stuff. You go in Slabodka, there was fire. What do you keep? What Aveira? Well, I do nothing. No. Reb Nosson, you say, let's wait for Yom Kippur. We'll talk about it then. Leave me alone. You know how many mitzvahs I'm doing that I don't even appreciate? Keep away. I keep away from that. I really do. But anyway, I do kvetch, and it always works. I get upset. Usually I try to be more in being thankful mode. I'll tell you what. Tell me what you think. Malay oscha v'dim acha. This is Mishpatim. I got a Malay oscha v'dim acha loisa acha. Malay oscha means bikurim. V'dim acha means your tears. But no, Rashi says, it's a crazy word. He doesn't know what it means. It means truma. Loisa acha, do it right. I want to say there's a remes. Bikurim is called Malay. Why? You ever hear Aaron? Samach begedulas achi. He's happy. You know why? He was a Mali type of a person. I'm full. I got it all. A person like that forgives everybody. Avnei miluyim. Shivas yemei miluyim. Hashem roi loy echsar. Not machsar. Ein machsar the red. Everybody goes around machsar. I just need this. Then we'll be machsar. Aaron was Mali. Now bikurim, when you bring bikurim, you're showing an extreme of thankfulness. So that's why it's called Malay Oscha. You're Malay. Now, you have to work your head off all your life to become a Malay. I always feel I'm not good enough with that. Sit down an hour once a week or something. Start thanking. You're not thanking enough, no matter. Everybody thinks they thank. There's one person you know how to thank, Rabbi Miller. It's not pashut. There's so much sneaking, but give me this, but. Go straight. Thank you for an hour. Come on. For this finger. You know, anything good happens to you, within a minute, you want something else. It goes over your head. The only thing that you really focus on is what you're missing. It's a sickness. Everybody's like that. Except for Aaron HaKohen, except for Rabbi Miller. That's why Aaron is happy with Moshe, happy with everything. So I say, Malay Ascha, the midah of being Malay, Loi Sa'acher. Don't waste no time. Do it immediately. Don't waste any time. Sit on yourself. Forget about you need this. Don't waste a minute. That's my shot. Oh. So I don't want to get involved in that so fast. But if we're getting involved, I'll tell you what it means. I want to say, Demachos means you're going to cry because you need things. Right? First, fill yourself up until you feel you don't need anything. Now you can start crying, you'll get everything. Because Hashem sees, this guy's a good guy. He'll be thankful. And I'll bring you a raya. Be full with the goodness that Hashem has. Then, now you'll have a Yeshua soon. If you know how to say Sabeinu mituvecha, when you're full, come on, but I still need this. Sit there, take a week break. Stop kvetching. 1 week, nothing. Ruchni is none of that stuff. But you didn't daven, you didn't wear nice, you were leave me alone. 1 week, mole, full up. You know what David Amel said? Kaisi revoya. My cup overflowed. Marava Rus means Marava satiate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the description of Rus and David Amel, the key to everything. Satiate HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You're flowing, you can't stop. Do it. Now listen to what I'm saying. But you got to do it. You sit down and start writing. Sit for an hour. You got the hour. I have this, I have that, I have that. And chazr it. Tomorrow, chazr it. Sit on it for a week. And don't be Masir Das. It's married. Who cares what kind of a lady or what kind of kids? I have kids. I have Pro Revu. Who cares what kind of kids? I have a job. Who cares what kind of job? You got a job. I have glasses. Isn't that a good thing to have? I could see. It's a kleiner kite. Every little thing, it's crazy. I have Jack. What could be better than having good old Jack? And have these sweeties over here, cute guys, all over the place. I got it all. You know what a normal guy thinks? How many guys came? I thought some guys were falling asleep. Did I say the wrong thing? You're getting sidetracked. What do you do? Oh, you daven mincha with a minion. I daven with a minion. That was a davening. Is that the way? That wasn't. See, you're getting sidetracked. Every move you make, you get sidetracked. Be tamimus. Reakivish tam. Tamimus is the best meat that all the Chassidim say. I'm simple. Don't tell me, but is she a good wife, or this wife, or that wife? Is the kids? You got kids. They're learning, they're trying. Bug off. Don't get complicated. Don't complicate me. I'm breathing. Bug off. I need more. Am I right? Lehaim, kol tov. Tibari, kol tov.